working on Scratch 2.0, and we're specifically going to be doing Space Invaders. And you need to download the Space Invaders game that I provided you. All right, and the link was on Edmodo. All right, or your Google Drive. But we are going to download the game. The game's going to provide the sprites. It's not going to provide any of the code. So once you've downloaded, do upload to your computer, where you've got file, and then upload from your computer. And then you should have this, no code, and it says say space icons to share. Rename it to space icons, say your name so you have it, and there's your sprites. So then what we're going to do next is we are going to, again, save it as a copy so that way you have it. Again, jump to Space Invaders, YEOT, Space Invaders, your name is fine. All right. So what we're going to do is you're going to need to make 2 backdrops for it. All right. And one is something like this, Space Invaders game, press 1 for easy, press 2 for hard. Use the text icon over here to write this out. You use the color, I don't care really what color, but press 1 for easy, 2 for hard. Then you're going to do another backdrop. So if that was, you have this backdrop, and then we can change the second backdrop. Is go ahead and add the space and put it in there. And so that way, it's going to, your goal is to get your, this is your ship, this is your laser, these are the aliens. And this is based off the very famous Space Invaders game that was a huge hit when your parents were kids. It made millions upon millions of dollars. All right, first things first, we're going to move the ship. And you can use this 2 different ways, as was shown up here. You can use the right arrow and move 10 steps, or you could use the arrow and change X by 10. It would work in this case both ways. So if you did the left arrow and press, that has moved by -10 steps. If you wanted to use X, what would that be? And hopefully you would think -10. All right. Now, next thing you need to know, we need to add on this. Remember we want that orange screen to come up with press 1 or press 2. So we don't even want the spaceship to show up. So what we're going to do is, when clicked, we're going to add hide. When backdrop switches to space, and that's what's going to end up happening, when that goes to space, we want the spaceship to show up, and then when we want to be able to use the right or left arrow keys to move the spaceship. Okay? So, if you haven't got this bit of code, go ahead and drop this. You're going to put this code on the spaceship. Now, in the beginning, notice when we have that backdrop switch to space, we're not worrying about easy or hard right now. So don't worry about it. Doesn't matter if they chose easy or hard. We're going to have this pop up. Okay. Now, the laser. The laser we want to hide as well. We don't want that to start up. So you're going to have that under when clicked, hide. All right. Then, when spacebar is pressed, we want it to show. Correct? And then we have these bits of code you're going to need. Go to sprite 1, change Y by 10, hide, and repeat 40. So I want you to think about, as opposed to me just telling you what's going to happen, when that space bar is hit, we want the laser to go up. So here's some hints on the code. You've got show code, you've got to go to sprite 1. I would rather that say go to spaceship 1. Change Y by 10, you've got to hide. And you also got a loop of repeat 40. Go ahead and see if you can use this bit of code to come up with a way to make that laser beam go up, leave from the ship, and go up. Don't worry about it contacting anything quite yet. All right, here's what it would look like. This bit of code causes it to hide when the flag is clicked. Then, so that hides, all right, and you want it to stay hidden. But once the space bar is pressed, this will show It's going to go to spaceship. It says sprite 1, but it could be spaceship 1. Repeat Y 10 times. So think about it. The laser is located over the spaceship. Now it's going to go up in the Y-axis, which is straight up and down, for a total of 400 steps, but it's 40 by 10. You know, repeats 40 times, goes 10 each time, and then hides. So it'll march off as if it disappears. So let's focus on a simple game where the ship can shoot still aliens for points. Later on, we'll add alien movement. All right. Now, in the beginning here, we're going to have no difference between easy and hard. But I do want you to start to build on our aliens. And so this code will be all going with the alien, okay? So when clicked, I want it to disappear. So you can see a little bit of code for that. When easy and when hard, really the same code at this point. We're not going to change it. All right? Think about what we want to do so the alien shows up on the screen at a very specific place. And if it ends up hitting the laser, and this is why this is sprite 3, but see how naming things sprites not a good idea? This really should be laser. So you got touching laser. That sprite that you made that looks like a laser should be laser. So if touching the laser, hide, and then change the score by 1. And there's also a forever loop. So think about this and see if you can put it together. And whatever you put on easy will, at this point, work on hard. So let's look at this. When I receive hard, show, go to X3030. If touching sprite 3, which in this case is the laser, then hide, change my score by 1. You're putting this on the alien again. All right? Same alien, and there's the alien right there. When I receive easy, show, go to 30 by 25. If touching the laser, hide, change score by 1. This starts the aliens, so you've got the aliens now. Now we're going to start doing something based on speed. All right? And what we really can say is what we're going to do is relate both the speed and with a variable. Now, honestly, you've got set speed to 2 here, or and then you've got set direction to speed. So just showing you, we're doing this really, the quickest thing is just use the set speed by 2. But to show you that you can take a variable and then assign a variable to another variable, we can do. So we set speed to 2, but we can take direction, we can assign speed to that. And then we plug in where that change x, we drop in direction. So in this case, for easy, I'm making that speed, that's only going to change x by 2. And then if I'm touching the laser, hide, and change score by 1. This is opposed to show, let me see here, where I see, go to this location, right? And then we look at our laser, there's no real change there, all right? So this is when I receive hard, and this is the spaceship, I should say. Let me go here. When I receive easy and I'm on, and if I'm touching the sprite, if it touches me, then I'm going to move. Now notice this is in the X. This is not up and Y. This is in the X. So it is going to start moving on the screen a little bit here. All right? But notice we went from speed is to 2. So 2 is the speed. So as far as the computer goes, whenever it sees the word speed, it's going to think 2 in this case. And then we took speed and we assigned it direction. So now direction is worth 2. So we're going to have the loop running and we're going to have X always going 2. If I touch the laser, I'm going to hide, change the score by 1. Since the number is going to be positive, 2 for easy, 50 for aliens, the aliens will always start going right. All right? Okay. Now, what we're going to do next is once X is equal to 140, I want it to drop down by 20. See, in the game, the aliens go across the screen and keep dropping down, coming after you as you start shooting this, okay? Also, it's a good idea in the beginning to have all your variables up so you can watch them and you can predict what's going to happen. Allows you to easier troubleshoot. Once you have a game that you're pretty happy with, you might, your score might stay up there, but the speed and direction, you may hide that. User doesn't necessarily need to see that. Okay, so here's a little bit of code. Think about how you might use it. You've got exposition. You've got this little bit of math. If blank is greater than 40, then set direction to -5 and change y by -20. All right. So that's going to, the y is going to cause what? It's going to cause it to drop down. Change direction by negative means it's going to move it going over to the left. So, and then once you get over to the other side, you're going to say, hey, if x is less than -200, because remember on the left side, x goes to 200. All right, set direction to 5, because, hey, now we're going to the right in the positive, but y is still dropping down by 20. We'll start alien moving left once the next loop begins. So if x position is greater than 140, set the direction to -5, change y by -20. If x position is less than -140, set direction to 5, change y by -20. Notice it's not the x position is greater than -140. -160 is less than -140, and that's why we do it. All right. Now, Space Invaders game. Press 1 for easy, press 2 for hard. Let's introduce this, and we'll get the easy and hard part done, and then we'll go in a little more difference. When clicks, switch backdrop to starting screen. And that's that orange. When a player presses the green flag, the backdrop will change to the opening screen. If a player presses 1 or 2, that broadcast will affect later parts of the script or our code. Either way, the backdrop will switch to space. If they press 1, it's going to switch backdrop to space, broadcast easy. If they press 2, switch backdrop to space, broadcast hard. What I like about this is you're taking that immediate input. You know, fewer code commands generally are better. All right. Send the message jump and wait till all the jumps are done, then do this. So we could do that, say that was fun. Whenever the message jump is sent, do this. When I receive jump, change y by 50. Wait 1 second, change y by -50. So see how, if we use an example of a broadcast and wait, it gives the broadcast message 50. Another sprite has in this code jump. So when I receive y, so if I see the message, my sprite, if I see or hear that, I'm going to go up my axis 50, wait a second, and then come back down 50. This is a great way using broadcast for one sprite to impact another sprite. That's why that opening splash screen says 1 or 2. Once you press 1 or once you press 2, it impacts the other sprites. Normally what you do on a sprite stays on that sprite. You know, what you do on a sprite stays with that sprite, right? But the broadcast allows us to do this. And so what you're waiting for is once it receives jump, I know to do this. Broadcast and waits, and then waits till all the finish continues. So this might, you don't need it in this case, but that would do that. It would stop waiting for the broadcast, okay? And then you can put in your own message, whatever. When you go to broadcasting message, you almost always have to do new and type it in there, I should say. So, again, data, here's score. We make that. You can set or change your score. So, switch the backdrop. When I press 1, switch backdrop to space. Set score to 0, and then we're initializing that because we want to make sure if there was another game played, the score has been reset back to 0. It's going to show the variable score so everybody can see their score, and then it's going to broadcast easy. If they press the 2 key, set score to 0. Again, we want to set the score back to 0. Show variable score, switch backdrop to space, broadcast hard. All right. When I received easy, set speed to 2, set direction to speed. Notice this is all outside the loop. All right, that's for the easy settings. Then, once I get in the loop, this is what's always happening. Hey, if the x position of this alien is greater than 140, set the direction to -5. Change y by 20. So in other words, that's going down. They're saying, hey, if this thing hits the wall, have it go down by 20, so it's slipping down the wall, and then start moving back to the left with that -5. That's set direction -5. This is when it's set on easy. If x position is less than -140, so it's on the other side of the screen, set direction to 5, change y by -20. See how it's slowly advancing down the screen? And then change x by y direction, all right? And then change x by direction as well, all right? And then let me go down. If touching the laser, then hide, change score by 1. So it goes and does that. And this change direction is saying how fast that's all going to happen. All right? Notice set direction, and the reason we use the score, we have the ball speed, but we use the direction, and this is a little more why we set the direction, because the ball speed is going to have to be either -5 or 5. And that's why we did that. We used the term direction. And this obviously caused the alien from being destroyed by the laser. Speed based off of difficulty the broadcast created when the player chose 1 or 2, easy or hard. This is hard. The speed is a lot faster now. But by having a variable that way, we don't have to update necessarily anything else. So in the hard game, we made large directions in that set direction, 15, -15, and 15. On easy, it's -2 and 2. That smaller number makes the aliens move slower, which makes the game easier. You can go ahead and try that. And once you've gotten one alien, you can start dragging this code over onto 2 other aliens, right on the alien. Make sure the game isn't running, drop it on them. All right, so let's look at this alien. The alien starts at -30, which is on the left, 25, which is on the Y, slightly up. The aliens are 30 feet away from each other. All right, since the group moves between -200 and 200, this alien will bounce when X is -200, or Y is X is -200 and X is 140. Because it's starting at -30, remember? All right. So it's going to go all the way over to 140, then come back, going to go all the way to 200, come back. This alien, these aliens are all 30 feet away from each other. This starts at 0.25. The group moves between -200 and 200. When will the alien bounce between? When is the alien bounce between? You got to add in there. Since the group moves between -200 and 200, the alien bounced, and he was at 20. Is the aliens 30 feet away from each other? The alien bounce will be between -170 and -170 and 170. All right, that compares to 200 and 140. This is going to be 170 because this is the middle alien. Third alien starts at 30.25. The alien's all 30 feet away. The group moves between -200 and 200. What is the alien bounce here? Since the group moves between -200 and 200, the alien bounce will be -140 to X is 200. So X will be -140 on the left, 200 on the right. So there you go. Look up at the top. X position is greater than 140. Set direction to -15. Change Y by -20. If X position is greater than -200, Then set direction to 15, change y by negative 20. Down here, if x position is greater than, that was 140, right? This one is going to go to 1, because it's closer, it can go farther, 170. So 170, set direction negative 15, right? That's kind of the hard game. Change y by negative 20. That's always negative 20. Okay? And that should have been negative, let me see here, negative 15. Okay, great. And then so just opposite when it's negative 215, because it's going to go to the right. This is going to the left, this is going to the right, this is going to the right and left, okay? If x position is greater than 200, then set direction to negative 15. Again, going back to the left, change y by 20, because now look, this is 140, 170, 200. And again, this is negative 200, going just opposite, negative 200, negative 170, negative 140. And if x position, and in these cases, this should be less than, and this should be less than 140, change it by 20. So in this case, this is greater, this should be less than. This is greater, this should be less than, greater, less than. All right, press 1 easy, 2 to start, that's what it should look like. And then the alien should be going back and forth on your screen. All right. How should we go about improving this game? 2 players, multiple turns, add more aliens, create a type of scoreboard for multiple rounds, add a game over screen, add difficulty, add speed and degrees, add levels, multiple laser blasts, power up, put an object between you and the aliens. There's, all kinds. Bring down different aliens. It's endless what you could do for this. All right? So I hope you enjoy doing this. All right? And so with that in mind,